Working as light as we can today because we got to carry fence posts, so this is all cell phone today. We got the land surveyed, and there's the corner by the road. All right, so what else did they do? Along every property line, minus the front, along every property line, every 200 feet, they marked it with ribbon. And what they recommended for us to do is to come back at every one of those pieces of ribbon and put a T-post in the ground so it's a little bit more permanent. And that way it lasts longer than the ribbon, it lasts longer than the little flag in the ground, because they do put a flag in the ground. The problem with that is that means every 200 feet we have to drive a post in the ground. No big deal. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, the highest number we saw on the flags so far was 116? Something like that, 116? There's way more than that though too, because that was about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way around the property. So we have to, or we are going to, take a bunch of posts, walking through the woods, drive them down, spray paint them a bright orange just for future reference, so we know exactly where our property boundary is. It's we didn't get enough to do all of it today. We've already started on this and already have 10 posts on the ground. Here's another 100 posts. And the unfortunate thing is there's no trails where we're going, so we got to carry all of it. Also, I have to publicly eat my words here. When I did my walk-through hike on the property, I said, oh, poison ivy doesn't bother me. It never has in my entire life. So that was factual. It hasn't in my entire life until now. I got it a little bit on that arm, a little bit more on this arm, and my legs are absolutely miserably covered. I've never had a reaction to poison ivy, and I'm destroyed. My wife got it really bad, just at an isolated spot on her wrist. So basically what you can see on the screen right there, that's about as much as my wife got it. My legs are like my legs are walking blisters. So today is today's day like 6 or 7, and it's actually getting better, but walking in pants in the woods is going to be it's going to be a day. It's going to be a day. We've met our neighbors now, and everyone seems to be nice and cool. But there's a natural path from our property to a neighboring gate, which I don't like, so we'll put some no trespassing signs here regardless. And then over here is an actual marker from a previous survey that our survey agrees with. So this pipe was already in the ground. And then there's stuff sticking out of this pipe. And this is at the meeting of 3 properties. That's property over there, property over here, and then our property right here. So rather than driving a T-post right here, I don't think it's necessary. This big piece of iron is already acting as a post anyway. I'm going to highlight that post on the ground, or that pipe on the ground, with some paint. So this is, try not to like show the bunch of the neighbor's property, but this fence is the neighboring fence, and this is our jungle. And we walk this quite a bit, and it goes, the survey line goes right on the fence. So I'm not going to double up and put my T-posts on this fence and spray paint them just to make their visuals looking this way awkward and distracting with a bunch of orange posts. So we're going to leave it, and they've got a nice fence. Let them have a nice fence and not worry about this whole row. And it's cool because this nice fence already goes the entire length of the property on this particular side up to the other corner. So this whole thing is just already done by our neighbors. We appreciate it. Thank you. And we'll go that way. I set out to make a video today, but this is probably the worst the worst amount of physical work we've had to do, just because it just rained. It's like 90% humidity, and the bugs are insane. Holy smokes, I'm gassed. My wife is going ahead of me, dropping some poles here and there, and I'm bringing the paint, extra poles, and that thing. It is like 85 degrees, but the humidity is like 85–90% humidity, and the bugs are out and there's no breeze at all. So toting all this stuff through the woods, through all the poison ivy, it sucks, quite frankly. But this is the stuff that needs to be done just once. Just get it done once. So I gotta catch up. But we're off on the other side of the property, so that this one is 82. Eventually, long term, this whole side is going to be five wire barbed wire fence all the way through. And then, like, so this is a perimeter fence. That over there to the left is not my land. To the right is my land, and it goes this way, or our land rather, goes this way. So we do want to have a fence all the way over here, and then somewhere within the next 30 feet this way, or so, wherever it makes sense, that's where the perimeter trail is going to be. So the perimeter trail isn't going to be 100% on the line, but I want to be able to visibly see the perimeter from the perimeter trail. We have quite a few of these, what looks to be little natural drainage creeks that flow into the big creek. So when the time comes to make our trail, well, when the trail comes this way, I should say, she's going ahead of me putting posts out. When the trail comes this way, plenty of opportunities to make bridges and have fun in that regard. Experiment with a few different bridge designs. A lot of fun. I don't know why I thought that I could make a video out of this type of work, but it's insane carrying all these posts through all this with paint, and then the post setter, and then worrying about the camera and bugs and this sea of poison ivy. It's everywhere. I bet I'm standing right next to it. I bet I could find it right from where I'm standing. Yeah, there you go. Poison ivy right there. Leaves of 3. Let it be. We're done for today. What I was doing as we're marking these posts, we're putting a post at every flag, so we know for sure the posts are accurate. In between, just to give us a little visual guide, I've been spray painting trees. So the posts are accurate. The spray paint on the trees is just for a guide. Yeah, I can see from here. I don't know if it's showing up or not. And my left hand's full, so I can't point. But some of these spray painting lines are not in line at all. But and at least gives somebody a kind of a guide if they understand the system, if they're walking out here. So as my Boy Scout map that I'm creating, essentially, I feel like I'm a big kid playing Boy Scouts again. So much fun, except for the obvious physical work. I mean, physical work is one of those things, like it's rarely fun while you do it. But after you get that physical work done, you hit the shower, you just feel so good. I do anyway. I love that feeling of physical exhaustion where there's no question if you're going to fall asleep at night. It's like, nah, that's a done deal. When I close my eyes, I'm out. That's the type of physical work that I really, really like after it's done. And I sound like that guy on Home Alone, whatever his name is, when he gets annoyed at the kid one-upping him. That's the kind of work where you sound like that while you're doing it.
What? What? What happened? Get that little...
But it feels so good the rest of the night when you're done. Another post. I don't know how much that weighs, but it's kind of heavy. Big kudos to her for carrying quite a few posts. Some of these spots I spray painted the ground for some reason. That's not going to last but just a little while. Ouch. It's going to be nice in a year or so, hopefully a lot sooner than that, when we get our perimeter trail cut for the side-by-side. And then once the side-by-side beats it down and gets it all nice and, you know, smoothish, and then the tractor goes over it several times and just smooth it out best we can to where it's safe for a horse to go through there comfortably and casually without stepping in a hole and breaking an ankle or knee for a horse. That's gonna be really fun. Hey babe, do you have one more hand? I got a spray paint can that I can't pick up. Thank you. All right, this is the point in the video where I've just been rambling on and on for far too long. So I just say goodbye, and I hope to talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Did you guys give up? Have you had enough pain?
Never!